Yo, what's up guys? We are back, and I wanted to take a moment to show what progress I've made with the chest transportation system concept. I've actually made a decent amount of progress with this, and I'm almost done, I think. You can see I got a lot of circuits going on here. I haven't quite figured it all out yet. There's mainly two things that are stopping this from being fully functional. On that end, anyway. But if we go over to this end, I haven't done the circuitry for this end yet, but the circuitry for this end is going to be very simple. Because all we have to do is have a button on a wall, send a redstone signal into a block that is in front of this piston, a movable block, or not piston, observer, a movable block, and that'll send a redstone update from that button to send the system out. So we're just gonna simulate what would happen if I had that set up and I pressed the button. So if I press the button, it would send the system over, and once it comes over here, this observer will trigger this circuit here, which will then push the rail and the chest into position. And we will see that should happen in just a second. There we go. So now the rail and the... Ooh, it brought the rail back, actually. You know what? No, that's fine. The rail doesn't have to be there. So the rail is already back in place. The chest is now in position, and the chest, if it were full of items, which it's currently not, but if it was, it would be funneling down here, and this comparator would send a signal out into these inverters, which then, if I had this portion of it figured out, would then send the signal into here once all of the items have filtered through. And then that signal would trigger this piston to push back into place. And then it would signal this piston to fire off once more, just to make sure the rail is put back in. So then both of those would be in place, and then it would also trigger this circuit, which I haven't quite figured out yet, but this circuit will somehow send a redstone update to this hopper, which will trigger the system to then send it back once the chest is empty. So the only thing stopping this from working right now is, one, I haven't exactly figured out what method I'm going to use from this circuit to send a redstone input to the hopper that's supposed to be here. If I just put this back. So I need to figure out how this circuit is going to send an update to this hopper. And then the only other thing that is stopping this from working is the timing mechanism in between the end of this circuit and the beginning of this one that will time how long it takes to send that signal. Because I don't want to send the chest too early. I want it to send when it's empty. So I haven't quite figured out all of that yet. But we're working on it. We're working on it. And all of the circuitry is in place except for the return function, which will be on this hopper, and the timer to make sure that the chest is in fact empty when it gets sent back. Other than that, everything else is set up for this fully autonomous item transfer system that I'm working on here. Now, will I actually use this in a survival scenario? I'm not entirely sure. How useful this is as opposed to other methods, again, I'm not entirely sure. But what I can say is that if I can get it working, it'll be pretty cool. But you can see the chest goes across. Once it is here, the chest will automatically be pushed into place. There you go. And I actually think I might not need this blue circuit. Because it looks like it's pulling the rail back now. Before it wasn't. So I might not actually need this circuit anymore. So I'll change all that out in a second. But I'm still going to have to find a way to time it, and I'm still gonna have to find a way to send a redstone update into this, and I'm very limited in the ways that I do that given all the space that I have here, because I can't have anything touch these honey blocks, because then the honey blocks will pull those items along with them. But you can see that if I do in fact have this working properly, you will see that if I hook this up, this circuit would then, if I put some leather in there, pushes the chest right back into place, and then it would send a signal out to then update this and send it back. So that does work. Aside from I don't have the timing mechanism for this figured out to time it so that it goes off at the right time when the chest is empty. And I don't have how I'm gonna send a redstone signal into this. But if I can figure out both of those things, this system will be fully functional. So, again, I'm not entirely sure how useful something like this is. But I had the idea for it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can build it. So, maybe every now and then we'll fuck around with some redstone ideas on the channel. Because I do like redstone. So I almost have this figured out. I'm close, but I don't quite have it yet. But yeah. Anyway, thank all you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to become on the ground base. I'll see all you guys next time. Hopefully next time I do a video on this, it'll be done and fully functional. Bye, guys.